Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show.
Yes, it is.
So you have been warned.
Oh my fucking God. Sorry. I intro the thing we're doing because I can't handle it.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
There's a great evil spreading like the many verses. And you may be our only chance of stopping it.
It's crazy. You're starting to get it.
Are we going to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can talk about it now. Jamie Lee Curtis's name is Deirdre Beaudeirdre. I knew it was Deirdre because they say it a lot in the movie. That is so funny. It's inconsequential.
I genuinely don't know what to say about this movie.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I really loved it. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's a multiverse movie. The general premise is that Michelle Yeoh plays a Chinese American woman named Evelyn who owns a laundromat with her husband. And it is her father Gong Gong's birthday.
Yeah.
And they are meant to be throwing a party.
I think it's also Chinese New Year. Yeah.
In which her daughter Joy wants to come out as gay and introduce her girlfriend to the family. And all the while they are being audited by Deirdre Beaudeirdre.
Inspired.
In a real swing for the bleachers performance by Jamie Lee Curtis. And whilst she is doing that, she is confronted by an alternate version of her husband who explains to her that the fate of the universe is at stake and they think she is the one who can help them defeat this great evil queen, essentially.
Yeah.
Considering that it's unlike anything I've ever really seen before, it, in a general sense, is sort of what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's a multiverse exploration of the what is the meaning of life, and the answer they settle on is love. You know what I mean? So it's a trope that has been explored time and time and time and time again. However, with the very unique perspective of the characters, the sense of humor and style, flair, and also the genuine emotional grip they have on that tale as old as time makes it feel like something you've never seen before or rarely seen.
I was not expecting the mommy-daughter stuff, and it hurt my heart a little.
In a good way?
Yeah, it made me miss my mom.
Well, again, like I'm just going to repeat myself, but it like we've kind of seen this. I mean, we Seeing Red a month ago.
Turning Red.
Encanto.
Seeing Red is a really dark episode of Buffy.
Encanto, Brave, Dumplin'. I mean, there's just so many things recently that have sort of tackled this, and to have this do it in such a weird way, and the casting of, in particular, Michelle Yeoh and Ki-Hu Kwan, who is Short Round from Indiana Jones.
And he's Data from the Goonies.
Apparently he
hasn't worked in 20 years.
Retired because he was dissatisfied with the state of
Asians in filmmaking. You don't say. I think that's one of my favorite things about this is that it's such a powerhouse like showcase for like
he's so good in this.
Well, for him and Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Sue, who we've seen in like a couple of things. She was just recently on Mrs. Maisel, and she was just in something else we were talking about that I forgot now.
She was familiar to me, but I didn't recognize her name.
She's really great. I guess she's on some Kimmy Schmidt.
She's very funny. She is given a task. She is given a role that requires a great deal of gravitas that she pulls off, and the role doesn't wear her.
She's in Shang-Chi. She's like the friends that they keep going to drinks with. That's her. Yeah.
And she has to deliver a handful of lines again in like regalia, but she does it with such a familiarity and a casualness that I don't know. I was really impressed by her. And back to Ki Kwan.
I'm not sure in the pronunciation.
He was so good. He carries so much of this movie.
Yeah.
And he's so charming and disarmingly handsome.
Man, in the one timeline where Michelle Yeoh is a movie star, fuck off. It was
the glamour.
So when we were driving home yesterday,
was it an homage to that?
It is an homage. When we were driving home last night, I was like, did you get Chungking Express from those scenes? And Will was like, well, it's definitely Wong Kar-wai. And I was like, yes, 100%. And then it's in the trivia. It's specifically inspired by the movie In the Mood for Love, which is him. But because it's sort of like smeary at certain points, and it's just the way it's shot, the colors. I was like, I've only seen the Chungking Express one time. And I was like, that's exactly what this looks like for me.
It was so romantic. Yeah. And the movie has like a less labored Terry Gilliam quality.
I feel that.
And that I feel weird saying that it's less labored because there is a great deal of labor involved in this movie. Maybe it doesn't have the pretense that
it feels more lighthearted. I think there's something about the Daniels, which is how they're crediting themselves now, which I find as inspired and endearing and hilarious as Deirdre Beaudeirdre. And I think because they made that weird movie Swiss Army Man.
Okay.
And I never ended up watching it, but it's like one of those first gonzo things that Daniel Radcliffe did, like post Harry Potter. And I just love the notion that there are people out there who are like, hey, what if Harry Potter was dead, but he was like a buddy for Paul Dano? Like, I don't know.
And it's because it's like, I feel weird saying that this movie is accessible because it's not. The entire first chunk is in Mandarin.
It is very exposition heavy,
and it's a multiverse movie. Like it's insane, but they managed to bring, to use the word again, a casualness and a friendliness and an accessibility. Like we saw this. It's A24. It's like an indie movie that has just opened wide, and it's a smaller release considering that it's a wide release, but we saw it in a pretty full theater. Yeah. Also, the first pleasant theater experience post-pandemic.
The people who are going to see this movie give a shit about
to see this movie.
So
it's the first time that I've been like, we will persevere. Like we will overcome this.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting because there was a lot of people there, all of who wanted to see the movie. It was a slightly communal experience. It is viciously funny.
Yeah.
There is a scene that was so horrible. If it were possible to transfer to a different universe, I would have done it in that moment.
Which?
The paper cuts.
Oh. Because for me, it was landing at full velocity onto a butt plug shaped IRS award.
Old friends. They show them, and the visual joke is enough. It's like, so getting into it, you had to cause yourself discomfort to trigger the...
No, you just had to do something weird enough.
So it's like the Hitchhiker's Guide, the like anomaly.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, because at one point when Michelle Yeoh's trying to do it because the guy has jumped on the Buttplug award and she has to fight him. Her husband is like, do this, and Joy, the daughter, is like, that's not weird enough, blow on his nose. And so it's just like, you have to do like, it doesn't have to be painful, you just have to do a weird thing. Yeah.
The ferocity with which these presumably heterosexual men are trying to slam this butt plug
it's
up
like
there.
We've done this before. We've had almost this exact conversation before. Those are also not butt plugs for beginners. Those are like seasoned pro butt plugs.
Well, because there's another one, but it's not the butt plug award. What was the other thing?
It was just a trophy. Just like a sports, like a tall, shiny gold and blue sports trophy, which is more hellish.
Yeah, I don't know where to go. I've lost my train of thought. I think if you take one thing away, it's that it's very good. It's very funny. It is weirdly accessible. I did listen to Pop Culture Happy Hour talking about it for a little bit. I didn't finish the episode, but they said something that I wanted to pass on here. They said something very interesting about the movie. Is the first sort of section of the movie. It's broken into 3 parts.
Yeah.
Not equal.
No, like, the big one, or the first one is the biggest
very
one,
long.
the longest one.
It was a little bit stressful while it was happening, but once we got to the midway point, I was sort of relieved because the entire first part is sort of teaching you how to watch the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's so much information to take that they do a exquisite, like you said, there was so much exposition and I never felt like an exposition dump.
It feels good because it's parceled out in a way that makes it like consumable, which is nice. I mean, there's also just like a handful of moments that are great. There's a really beautifully poignant moment between 2 rocks. It's unreal.
It really is. And the stillness and sense of community in the theater.
Uh-huh.
Because it's silent and the dialogue is written.
Yeah.
And all of us in that theater were in that moment at the same time. I don't know. It hit me, and maybe this is the whole like first pleasant post-pandemic experience part of it.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to be communally, to be in the same place with strangers.
Yeah.
And to be on the journey together, even though we're not.
Because I think the last time I felt that was watching Endgame.
Sure. There's also, because the end of the movie, the entire theater was crying, and it was akin to How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. Also,
where I was like, I don't recall that feeling like that.
It doesn't happen a lot.
No. And it's very, very creative. It's very funny, because my issue with something like the multiverse is because it's everything, everywhere, all at once. No stop, no sleep, club, another club,
no more party rock.
No, so it's for an artist to tackle that. Sometimes you get a little bit too much the same thing, and I mean, this was just such a wild free for all, and also, I mean, to just capture the beauty. I mean, to have a genuinely emotionally touching scene with Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis as lesbian couple with hot dog fingers. And you're genuinely invested in their romance.
Yeah.
I got my fantasy. I got my whimsy. Like,
I really also appreciated that there was like a kind of like a, not even necessarily a grand romance, except for like the one part of it, the like one reality was kind of a grand romance, but it had that. And then it also had the like familial stuff. So it wasn't only romantic love. There was like familial love as well. I don't know. And then just sort of like the love of understanding, because we do get to a point where like, you know, our real world Jamie Lee Curtis and Michelle Yeoh sit down, not antagonistically, and she just is like, yeah, she just is like, I get it. Like, it's fine. I get it.
Just like, I mean, earlier in the day, personally, I had a little bit of like not a meltdown, but I was just like on the phone with my mom, and I was frustrated, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then to go see this movie and to have that moment where you're in the worst timeline and you wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
It was
I think,
really breathtaking.
I think that actually gets me to the crux of like what might have been my favorite part of it, which is at one point, Alpha Waymond is like, you have to be the one because you're the worst version of yourself. Every time that you've tried something new and given it up, another universe's you has made that into a success. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that you are so close to so
She's
many,
the ground zero.
Yeah, he was like, that's the only way that this can work.
Because you can access
I
all
loved
of them.
it. It was like so
she can access them, they can't access her.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre. The science worked in a real, as you like to say, Jurassic Park sort of way.
Yeah, just buy it. It's fine. And it's also just like 2 Bluetooth.
Well, it threatens you with a bunch of bits that you're like, oh my God, that's really funny. Could you imagine? And then the movie proceeds to do that.
Yeah.
Like there's this entire, there's a throwaway joke about Ratatouille.
Oh my God.
Because she gets it wrong, calls it Raccoon-y, and it's about the guy with the raccoon on his head. And it somehow ends up being one of like 4 emotional cruxes of the movie in which the Harry Shum Jr.
favorite of the show.
How he managed to be the one from Glee. That because he's like 5th build in this. And that's not even to mention Jenny Slate.
Yeah.
I needed this much more Jenny Slate.
Like one more
this
specific
much more.
Jenny Slate scene.
Mm-hmm.
Although the fight with the dog.
She has a Pomeranian that she uses like a ball and chain. Like
Go-Go from Kill Bill.
Go-Go Yubari.
Also, it was Sunita Mani who played Artie in Glow.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, there's this running Bollywood number kind of in the background, and they have hot dog fingers at one point.
It really is unlike many things that I've ever seen. And it's special. I say see it. I think it'll be around come awards time.
Yeah.
I think it's certainly going to be talked about, and I genuinely think it's going to be a legendary movie, an iconic movie. I feel like this is kind of the beginning of our relationship with it.
I hope so. Oh, also the like Kung Fu master, the one that taught the movie star Michelle Yeoh, she does stunts for everything. Mulan, Pacific Rim, Aquaman, Battleship, Star Wars. It's tons of stuff, just tons and tons of stuff. So that's make an Oscars category for stunts. Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. That little moment too in the Wong Kar-wai like section when he basically was like, in another life, I would have loved just doing taxes and laundry with you. I was like, oh no. It's so cute. I can't stand it. Push in on my tears. Loved it. Big thumbs up. Definitely go see it. It's like, I don't want to say you feel it because I didn't really, but it is long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, just as like a, warning for people who want a short ass movie. But yeah, no, really good. I think it's really important to note how important this is for Michelle Yeoh, who I have known who she was for at least 23 years, whenever Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon came out.
She has the range.
She has the fucking range, and it is wild to me that this is like her first really like big deal leading role in an American movie. Unbelievable. It's just she has the range. She absolutely deserves it. I'm obsessed.
Gorgeous.
I think she's great. She is so stupid.
The gown she's wearing in the
even when they're trying to make her look frumpy as like the laundromat owner, I'm like, you can't hide that bone structure. And
the opera singer, it was like Blind Mag.
It was great. It was amazing. So good.
So that was our immediate conversation about everything, everywhere, all the time, always and forever. I love you. Closer together. Oh my God! And then they had the absolutely story of a girl. Your clothes never wear as well the next day, and your hair never falls in quite the same way.
What's that band's name? I don't remember. Anyway,
Cried a river and drowned the whole world.
Very funny. They reference that multiple times. Just all together good.
Oh, and Sunlux did the music.
Yeah.
And they did. Yeah. It's very Sunlux. yeah, please like and subscribe. Thumbs up. We're trying to grow. Apparently, the thumbs up does the best in pumping us through the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, you can donate. We have Patreon. We have Cash App. We have Venmo. Share, comment. Let us know what you think. And hopefully we'll see you around for more of the same.
Yeah. And you can follow us on Twitter if you feel like. It's @SoI'mWatching, Instagram @SoI'mWatching this show. Also, we've had a couple people
ask. The website will be back.
The website will be back. We got hit with some malware, and our server hoster is working on fixing it, but he's very busy. So, thank you. Bye.
So if you donate money,
we can fix it faster.
Yeah. Help us help you.